We jump into the TVA madness. There are some things that work really well in Loki, and there are some things that don't. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. Here we discuss everything and anything related to the world of Marvel and nerd culture. So if you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have some great content coming your way. But today let's get into our list of what works and what doesn't in Marvel's Loki. What works? Tom Hiddleston carries hard. From the moment Loki opens with Tom Hiddleston reprising his role from the MCU, it's clear he was born for this role. He brings his A-game in every scene, making you root for him even when he's being a total jerk. And I think part of what makes Loki such a compelling character is Hiddleston's ability to show Loki's vulnerability, something we haven't seen much of in the MCU. In just a few short episodes, Hiddleston humanizes the God of Mischief, showing us why he acts out, showcasing how lonely he is, and giving us a glimpse at how he feels about being the bad guy. Sylvie, Mobius missed potential. While Sophia DiMartino is great as Sylvie and brings a lot of energy to the role, I think the character is quite a miss. Don't get me wrong, I love the idea of a female Loki, and I like the addition of a variant to challenge our Loki. But Sylvie's character seems a bit one-dimensional and underwritten. Her introduction creates a lot of interesting possibilities that aren't fully explored. And while she does serve as a catalyst for our Loki's development, I think the show could have benefited from a more fleshed-out villain. Kang's setup was rushed. Now, I am excited for the introduction of Kang the Conqueror, but the way the show sets up the big bad for Season 2 feels incredibly rushed. The reveal that Ravonna Renslayer was working with Kang feels unearned, especially because she spends most of the season as a pretty one-dimensional character. The show would have benefited from spending a little more time building up Ravonna and her connection to Kang, making her arc a bit more than just a plot device to move the story forward. Timeline rules not inconsistent at best. Okay, so I know the whole point of Loki is playing with the concept of free will versus determinism and all that jazz, but the show's rules about the timeline are all over the place. If a variant is pruned, then they cease to exist. Yet when Sylvie kills He Who Remains, we see images of all these variants that should have been pruned. Oh, and not to mention that Sylvie and our Loki were able to freely travel throughout time up until that point. There's also the issue of Loki and Sylvie meeting their past selves without causing any sort of timeline branching issues. Look, I get that the show is trying to be a bit mysterious with how exactly the timeline works, but the rules feel inconsistent and sometimes contradictory. The finale raised more questions than it answered. I have a whole video dedicated to the finale and all its plot holes, so make sure you check that out if you want to see my full thoughts on it. But to sum it up, the finale tries to tie up too many loose ends and it doesn't do a great job of it. The introduction of the multiverse and the reveal that there are infinite versions of Loki out there raises a lot of questions. Questions like, are we going to see other variants of Loki? How will the multiverse affect the MCU going forward? What's the deal with those timekeepers anyway? Instead of answering these questions, the finale leaves them for us to ponder, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the execution leaves a lot to be desired. But what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.